Yuri was shocked that his father was designated to be the next family head until he graduates and takes over as the next family head. Luke protested and said that there should be someone else better suited as the head of the family, but Satsuki was set out to carry Gook's last will. One of the elders protested that Luke lacks knighthood, since he dropped out from Knight's Academy. Satsuki replied that she already spoke to the queen and gave them a special permission to elect the head without having knighthood. Satsuki said that Luke's records of his credits and awards still exist, and if need be, they can request and claim knighthood at once. She further explained that the Hao family's territory is the farthest from the kingdom of Kirihina, which is the battlefield right now. It has very warm climate, and the land is very fertile and productive. But in return, the Hao family served as reinforcements for generations against Kuran's invasion. However, due to the repeated battles, it's become difficult to maintain their army's strength. Yuri was slowly understanding the situation. He finally understood why there were so many old men in the meeting. It was because there's no tradition in the Hao family that the eldest would be the head of the family. The young people died in the war and the old people have returned back, so there weren't many young people to inherit the title of the head. Yuri thought that Chaldeans have a unique political system where the government and politics were run by women and military were run by men. Yuri realized that from the queen's point of view, it would be beneficial for her to send the Hao family to fight the war as reinforcements to preserve the military strength of the other families to protect the capital. He didn't think that Satsuki would have involved the queen. Yuri quickly realized that's where Xiam inherited her intelligence. Luke shouted that he didn't want to involve Yuri in these matters, especially if he doesn't want to be a knight or the family head. Satsuki said that isn't being a knight what all young kids admire. But Luke still protested that Yuri was still young and he shouldn't have that much of a burden at such a young age. Satsuki intervened by saying that after graduating, if Yuri isn't capable of becoming the head of the family, then Xiam would have to marry someone suitable outside the Hao family. That would mean that someone outside the Hao family would be the next head of the family. Luke and Yuri quickly realized that Satsuki was just protecting the entire family from falling into the hands of someone outside the family. This troubled Luke and Yuri since Luke was just a stand-in head of the family until Yuri graduates the Knight's Academy. Yuri understood what her aunt, Satsuki, was planning. They planned to let Yuri stay in the family house, and if Yuri developed feeling for Xiam, then she won't be forced into an unhappy marriage. Yuri thought deeply for a few minutes. He thought that it looks like he might be the future family head. He didn't know whether it was a good thing or not. Then he thought that would this be decided by his father giving consent, or would they have a voting whether he inherits the title of the family head? He thought that if it ever ended up as a voting, then he might even throw a tantrum to prevent him being the family head. As Yuri was about to talk to his father, they heard someone shouting from the hallway and forced himself inside the meeting room. Satsuki's eyes turned grim as he looked at the man, while the man pointed his finger towards her. He is mad that he wasn't invited in the meeting, demanding on whose permission did they get to hold the meeting. Satsuki replied to him by saying how dare he show his face in the meeting. It was Lakan Ek. He is the man who refused to participate in the King Eagle's attack, leaving Gook to his death. That's why he lost his position in the meeting. He was supposed to be a strong candidate for the next head of the family. Lakunek then shouted that how dare Satsuki go against the will of her husband Gook. Satsuki angrily replied, what the hell Lakunek was talking about, and that he was the one who ran away from the battlefield. He protested even further, that he doesn't know what lies have Satsuki been spouting. Yuri thought that this man doesn't even know what was written in the will, so why was he acting that way? Lakunek then asked one of the elders about the paper he was holding, then grabbed it from him as soon as he heard that it was Gook's will. Lakunek walked towards Satsuki, then slammed the will on the table, saying that it was a fake. Then he loomed over Satsuki, saying that it was a shame that a woman was caught scheming things. As Lakunek reached at his chest pockets, he revealed that he has the real last will, and this shocked everyone in the meeting. The letter said that he appoints Lakun Ek as the next family head, and he is expected to perform diligently and live up to his name. Lakun Ek then mocked Satsuki about the will. Satsuki angrily replied that she can't believe that this lowlife is a retainer of the Hao family. She shouted that even fooling around has its limits, and that the Ek family should be ashamed to even bring out a fake will. After Gook initiated the King Eagle's attack, Lacune Ek abandoned him, and the reports of him flying away already reached the main family. Lacune Ek replied shouting that it was Lord Gook that asked him to deliver the last will, while Satsuki replied shouting back that it was the Rosk family that delivered the last will, and that she trusts them as much as the Hao family, and adding that even Lacune Ek owes a lot from the predecessors of the Rosk family. Lacune Ek then accused Satsuki that she somehow convinced the Rosk family to support her story by flattery or false promises. The whole room went silent. Yuri thought it was obvious that Lacune Ek brought a fake will, and he felt like Lacune was worse than Satsuki in terms of personality. As Yuri analyzed the situation, he thought that Satsuki could have put an argument if she didn't lose to her anger. On the other hand, Lacune Ek was able to hold his ground in front of many spectators and is quick with his replies. There was no method to prove that the will Lacune Ek brought was fake, because the technology still does not exist in this world. Lacune Ek had the upper hand in this situation. Even the elder doesn't want to speak up and stir up the situation even more, because they think it is a demerit to oppose Lacune Ek, since the other options were Luke, who isn't a knight, and Satsuki, who was just Gook's wife. So Yuri thought of a way to break the intense situation. He asked Luke that he wants to go to a toilet. Luke approached Satsuki and called out to her. He asked Satsuki if they could take a small break, because Yuri needed to go in the toilet. This brought Satsuki back and calmed her down. Flustered, she said that they would take a short break and would resume the meeting in half an hour. After getting outside the meeting room, Yuri asked his father if they could go to a room where no one could hear them. His father puzzled, asking what about him asking earlier if he could go to the toilet. Yuri explained that it was just a lie that he made because he wanted to speak with him privately. After they found a room, his father asked jokingly to Yuri what the agenda for today was. Yuri replied back with a question, asking him if his father had any plans to be the head of the family. Luke answered saying that it depends on the elections. He said that he doesn't really want to be the head of the family, but if it was really his brother's will, then he has no choice. Yuri told him that there was a difference in the handwriting between the wills, and he encouraged his father to point it out to find the fake in the elections. Yuri is worried that his father Luke will be provoked by Satsuki to becoming hostile against Lacune Ek and his supporters. The political situation was a bit worrying for him, since it is a situation where the loser could kill the winner's family in retaliation. Luke disagreed with Yuri, but he was cut off by him saying that there are a lot of history books that always ended up that way. Luke stood up and reassured Yuri, saying that if it comes to that point, he will handle the situation somehow. Yuri reminded him to avoid confronting others as much as possible. His father replied that he got it already while opening the door. Little did they know Satsuki was waiting behind the door, which both surprised Luke and Yuri. Satsuki reprimanded the two of them, saying that they need to confront the others with more resolute attitude. Yuri interrupted, asking to speak with Satsuki for a few minutes. A few moments later, Yuri approached the two guards, saying he is Luke's son. He is asking to meet Lacune Ek, but the guard said that he is currently out. Yuri insisted by saying that it is important and asked if he could wait inside his room. The guards looked at each other, then they agreed. As they waited for Lacune Ek to return, the guard was telling Yuri about the Knights Academy. The guard said that in the countryside there's not much to do, unlike the capital. Yuri was reminded on how dull his previous life was before being reincarnated. A loud thud of the door opening. It was Lacune Ek, visibly mad that one of his guards wasn't guarding at his post. The guard said that he was supervising a child, but Lacune was already angry. Lacune told him to shut up and that he will get punished later. Lacune turned around to Yuri, asking why was he there. Yuri said that he came there to deliver a message from his father. He said that it was the secret of the will Ms. Satsuki was holding. And this marks the end of Chapter 5. Like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you can be notified for future updates. For other videos like this, click here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.